if you hold XRP, you need to understand the SEC case is going to end soon. And there is like two different stuff which is also in the plain sight, which you need to keep in mind. Which direction is the case going? Do they think it's going to go towards their side? Just listen to this.
And both the government and Ripple are saying we don't need a trial. Just here are the facts. You should rule. And again,
so right now, we understand that SEC and Ripple want a settlement as soon as possible, and they don't want to go to a trial. And Brad especially do not think that there is going to be a trial because it's not the facts which is in the dispute, it's the law itself, right? And if the judge is going to make that decision, what do you actually think like the decision is going to be?
she described the SEC, one, as being hypocritical, two, as not following a faithful allegiance to the law.
Now you heard about what the judge who is going to make this ruling think about the situation there. Both points are critical. Now going to the opinion of what Brad thinks of where this case is actually heading to.
The pendulum may swing a little bit of a smackdown to the SEC.
Okay, so that part is also clear. He definitely thinks that the pendulum is going to swing towards SEC, hitting them out, because this is going to give a lot of advantage. And if you actually listen to this one kind of give you that clarity as a lawyer, as you are looking at the stuff, how do you think that this is going to evolve, or what do you think the current process is and how we are going to end? And all of them ties up into one area. And that is one of the reasons why you see the price of XRP going up. We are like 47% up when the market is down, and especially look at this. Either is down 10%, you are down 47%, and the volume is increasing. That is not a small thing, because we've talked about this yesterday. And one of the interesting facts which I would like to actually highlight is like, okay, maybe I'm just that one guy who's talking about this, or there are others, I don't know. But looking at this particular comment, I'm like, okay, if that's the case, you should consider where you take your facts from, because that can have a lot of consequences. Because if you don't think that the price is going to go up and it is going to continue this momentum to the upside, that's going to have issues. But right now, do you really think we are going to blast off from here, or we have some resistance to test first? This is the Scientific Investor Family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10%. So guys, if you look really closely to this one, you do understand like the price is coming up. We all agree on that particular point, but we do have a resistance. We are getting closer to that. Now, if you have noticed this, we managed to break through these two resistance. One is the trendline resistance, which has been there from a long period of time. We broke that one. So that was the bigger one. Then we broke this one, which is the small one. You got more momentum. You reached here, you broke that. You closed about there. Now we are going to test this level in Bitcoin. That's XRP to Bitcoin. And then you look at the XRP USD. Great. If you zoom in, you can actually see like this is a resistance support range or zone. If you really want to plot that, you are going literally a trend to the upside. If it's me putting that narrative, because if I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, you break this one higher, you come back, you retest and bounce. That is healthy in my humble opinion, because if this is going higher, you do have to keep these in mind. Like you had another level of resistance here, you broke through that. So the momentum which you see in the XRP price is something which you need to keep in mind. Just normal common guy, come here, take the Heikin chart, go to a 3-day or a weekly chart and delete all these stuff. Look at like, what do you think? Now, one of the easiest part which you can do is just put in a moving average, which can be like a 21-day moving average, which actually helps. So I've already have the 20, I'll use that. When the price on a Heikin breaks through the upside like this, at a time when the MACD is trending or bouncing to the upside, RSI is showing you the upside direction, you are moving bullish. Now, if you remember, we talked about a double bottom reversal forming here on a Japanese candlestick pattern, and now that is literally happening, and that targets we gave it through, right? So right now what you are looking at is on a 3-day you become maximum bullish. Great. Now, what are the odds of you continuing this momentum for more time? I think it's going to be another wave cycle which we are going to see. Why? You literally trended to the downside here and you made a range. Now it can be a range bound trading and then break to the downside, but the RSI already suggested that no, we are going to the upside. And when that is happening, the price breaks to the upside. Now you go look at the history. One thing which you note is like things are looking so dominant for XRP. If you look like last 10 years, you'll see the RSI on a weekly on XRP dominance reach here very, very limited number of times. In last 10 years, if you observe the market and say like, okay, we entered here and the price started going nuts. Okay, next time you did this, the price went up. Now, it's not only starting, it's a continuation. First burst, second, third. So that's actually a huge, for me, it's a big thing to consider because right now you are entering to that area. Now look at this small one, right? We feel like, okay, that's the outlier. No, it was not. We started moving up from that 0.11 all the way up. If you remember the 0.7 range, 0.74 range, and we took profits, if you remember. And the SEC came in and pushed the price down. Great. Still, after that, the XRP actually went up to $2, even though the SEC case was there. But you got the indication here. Right now, again, you are reaching there. So remove all this and look at this and say like, okay, are you really going inside this? If so, are you breaking the last level of resistance where the price went down? For me, I do believe it is happening. And if it is happening, next question is, historically, when this happens, what do you see in the price action? This is XRP dominance. We were talking about this when the price was here. We didn't break higher at that time. Saying if we break from this level, we are going all the way up to 10, 12x in the XRP dominance. Now, you go here, we've talked about this a couple of days back and gave you the opinion what's happening. Big move is coming. But the problem is, when you talk about a big move and majority in the market says, no, that's not going to happen, people won't believe you. Great. But when it is actually getting priced in, usually that helps. Now, the market will be volatile. It is going to be super volatile for sure. But make sure if you are trading, you take profits close or just below a big resistance. If you think this is a resistance, take your profits because it's not only going to be one level of resistance here, you also will be getting a trend line resistance. So yes, this is going to be a range of resistance which we have to break through. Keep in mind, we are having this long shaped weekly candle in XRP, and historically, whenever you get this after a long congestion, the price continues. The price continues to the upside. The trend is to the upside. Now you do have volatility. So if you are trading, keep this in mind. You will see intermediate drops in price like 30-40%. So if you are having that faint heart, these 75% can, be messy for you because even after that, the price is actually going to go nuts doing another 10x. But what happened? It kicked you out of the market. So you don't want to be on that side where you lose money and your direction was actually correct, but the market and the algorithm kicked you out and then the price goes to reach your target. Great. Now think about one thing. What we are talking about right now is a short-term scenario. Great. You go on a monthly chart and you look at this. Remember, we talked about the saying, okay, the monthly close before here as a resistance support is 0.6. So you on a monthly, you're open to reach here. Short term, you do get resistance here. You broke that level. So I'm like, okay, that is actually a strong indicator that buyers are coming here and they are doubling down, because that's the only way I think like, okay, this is possible in the market where the entire stuff was going down and you see volume increasing in terms of XRP trading. And then you go look at the market, how it is reacting. And you feel like, okay, on a technical basis, as a technical guy, you think like there is a breakout happening on a monthly, not on a 4-hour chart. And that, when you zoom in, gives you a clear indication that you just broke off, giving a checkmate pattern here. It's super bullish. And on a weekly, you just broke through your 20-day moving average. Now, remember, mostly whenever you break through this, you come back, retest that. You bounce. And that bounce is usually bigger than the first run. So imagine this is the first run, which is 90%. You come back to the moving average and then bounce double that. So if we are doing this right now, this is like a 60%. If we continue up till this resistance, 90%, which kind of goes to this one. Then you come back down, anticipate the moving average is going to slow and come back up, because this is a 20-day moving average which follows the price. So most likely it's going to be somewhere close to 0.4. And you take 200% from there, you go all the way up to $1.2. And that again happens to be your next level of resistance. So it is like, okay, a short pattern is forming, which is giving you a microwave structure. 1, 2, and 3, you may reach like $2. That micro 3 wave structure can literally be this one. Which one? You look at this. You can actually argue this 1, 2, and 3. Now, you most likely, like me, you'd think like, okay, why is the third wave the biggest wave? Now, we don't really understand. This is crypto. This is like, cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, like the Brad putting it, right? And you look at this like, okay, wave 1 is super small, great. Wave 2 is like this. And you see wave 3, which is bigger. Now, if you are looking at this to get even better idea, you can go on different assets, which is highly correlated, and you will see like, okay, wave 3 for XLM last time did this. Keep in mind, 110x. Oh, I didn't guess the bottom. 130x in wave 3. That is actually nuts when you have actually done 40x in wave 2. So the nature of what we are talking about here, wave 3 is the biggest wave for these highly correlated assets in the last cycle, right? So being a possibility, this is the first structure which we are going to observe. Then you see one, you're going to correct back down, then a small one. Now here, you will literally have to zoom in to identify or even see that same structure, which is like this 1, 2, and 3. You got that twice. And I'm like, okay, so in wave 1, you actually got 2 microwaves. That is actually brilliant. So if we get the same repeating here, what would be, or how would the next wave actually look like? You get another one of this. Imagine you're going to correct back down. And this is just pure speculation from my end, right? You go up, you go down, then you go up. Now, we don't know how high it is actually going to go, but you take the measurement here. Like what you're putting in here should be like 200%. So let's make it like optimistic like last time. And then say the next one is going to be like this. So as you follow the general trend, clearly will actually show you something which follows the pattern. So the pattern, we have already discussed about this. That's like a huge reversal pattern. So if you believe this pattern is going to work out, it's completely up to you. If you don't believe that's going to work out, you can go look at different assets inside crypto market, which has actually shown that it works, right? I've talked about this way before and people were so bearish, no one gave attention to it. But if you are here right now, look at this. The measured move here is 20x. Keep that in mind. The measured move is 20x. After your correction, the price went up till this point. What is the measured move now? You see that? The price literally goes nuts. So if you are here, you are like, okay, the price was only intended to do that 20. Yes, you reached that 20 here. If you look at the numbers, it looked almost similar for me. And that was the measured move. And that measured move here was not the top of that wave structure, right? You went even higher. So what we are talking about for XRP is the pattern which actually aligns with the wave structure, where you think or at least I think it is going to do this number, which is a 13x, 14x after the break of this level. So say 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 range, you break that and you go higher, put that 13x in the price, and you see like, okay, you are going about $20. So if your target is way below that, you can think about, whether you are going to consider that as a possibility, because right now you're at a point where the price is trending like this. And if you are going to test this one and break this one, the first move as a short-term move, you will be considering 200%, which actually aligns with what we just saw here, the 200% range, right? So you break this and you take a 200%, you come close towards the previous high which you put in. Now, all of this actually shows you like, okay, there is a lot of upside in this particular asset, which is trending higher right now with increasing volume. But that does not mean that you're going to see something which is going to be like a straight line to the upside. You go inside these and you see there is a lot of volatility. So if you have trailing stop loss, if you have, stop losses in precise, you're going to be kicked out. If you enter a trade here, assuming this is the last low, your stop loss is just below that, what happened? It comes lower. Look at this precisely. This is what algorithmic trading does. It comes down, kicks you out, go back up. So if you are trading, make sure you use average true range for that day so you are safe. Even at that end, risk is so high because you're trading. Trading is always riskier. Going back to the key points, understand the market is here. It's not doing big moves. Only a few coins are moving, in which you see XRP, Chiliz, Algo, Stellar, all of these coins are slowly grinding back higher. Some of these have different wave cycle. Some of these have strong fundamentals. So if you are in here looking at what we call different category of assets, uncorrelated assets, you may be able to find some of these are highly correlated, some of them are not. And it's actually best to see like, okay, these 5 are trending higher, 3 are highly correlated, 2 are not. It's different. Great. You can literally take one from each and you still manage to get a not entering highly correlated asset. This actually gives you better chance of moving higher without highly correlated asset, because at a time when you see a lot of volatility, people would be scared to enter the market. Now you go look at what are the other side of this. You see coins which are slowing down. But it's not literally like that minus 20% which we used to see, right? But on the other side, you see like, okay, there is momentum building. Now that's the top 100 coins, which you have a lot of liquidity. Then you go into the next 100 and you see, okay, there is something really happening. The market is trying to push back up. So if you are on the side, you did not enter the crypto market, you can think about, opportunity cost or whatever you want, but make sure you understand the fundamentals before you enter in a coin, not just entering into a random coin. With that being said, you need to keep this in mind. You will have resistance against Ether, against BTC, against USD. That all will still play out in the market. And when it actually plays out, you also keep an eye here. This is the dollar. It is still strong. That's one of the reasons why the entire market is slow. It's not only crypto, it's Tesla. You look at them, you look at the S&P, you look at the NASDAQ, all of them are red because the dollar is strong. And right now, what we are waiting for is that to slow down, correct back down below the moving average. We really want that to happen. We are seeing a lot of volatility inside the dollar. And, this drop will give a lot of breathing room for a lot of currencies which are struggling right now, putting all their reserves into the market, trying to slow the dollar down. But if this does not break this level, that's going to again go and wane. If it breaks, that's going to be the best 3-4 months for crypto assets. As dollar goes down, we know the correlation. What happens? The price goes nuts. And when that happens, make sure you're not only in one asset, because if we get the clarity for SEC, boom, this is going to take off. Everyone who is outside now really want to get into this asset when the exchange is not there. And what happens when the demand and the volume goes up for one asset? Exchanges are not charity organization. They want profit. They are profit motivated. What they will do, they will relist because there's a ton of users who want this and the legal clarity is here now. Great. So if you are here, understand there's going to be a lot of different assets taking off, and if you are looking for a lot of different assets and understanding of that, where it is, where the support is, where the resistance is it actually below a huge support? Because there are some coins which actually dropped below a huge support and right now struggling to get back up, right? You don't want to be in that coin when it is short-term trending upside, where the major resistance is going to kick it down. So if you are looking for that kind of information, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. As the market takes off, you may not have too long to do this. Why? You see the market repeating this stuff again and again. One big pump, 20 days. Another big one, 20, 25 days. You are done, right? In a month, it is done. So if you lose this opportunity once, you lose one of the biggest run in next 5 years. So make sure you take the right decision and enter the right asset for your risk tolerance. Discuss this as much as possible before you enter. Do that fundamentals, you take the time before you jump in. Otherwise, you'll be confused when the market drops 5-10%. Now you're scratching. Should I get out? Should I buy more? What should I do? If you are not sure about the fundamentals, don't buy that. So that's it for today, guys. If you received value for the time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.